Okay, folks, listen. After looking at that title, I know you guys, where are my seafood lovers at? I know you in here, and then those of you guys like the whole concept of having an enchilada, we're gonna roll it all up, and guess what we're doing? Seafood enchiladas. Let's get it. Okay, so look, we're gonna go over these ingredients, you know what I mean, like pan over them. You guys can see it looks like a lot, but it really is not. Listen, and the full ingredient list is on my website. That's smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. And I'm gonna show you one more thing. Here go the star. That, and we're gonna do crab meat. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna go ahead and season, our shrimp. So we got shrimp here. I got it patted dry, already. So look, I'm gonna put just a little bit of this infused olive oil on there, right? Right, just a little bit. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and add some pepper to it, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in here with my glove and I'm getting ready to, mix this around, and it's gonna transfer everywhere, right? And then we're gonna come with the salt. This is kosher salt. Just give it a small pinch. I mean, that's good right there. You can see it's a little bit on the large side. This is like it's granulated, obviously, but this is like a coarse grind, So then we come with our chili pepper, chili powder, right? Now, it might look like I'm putting a lot on there. I'm not, Don't forget, we got to mix it. We got to transfer all of that onto all pieces, right? So here we come in with a little bit of this cumin. Now, cumin go a long ways, folks. So this is what I'm gonna put in there. About a half a teaspoon. That's all you need. Then don't forget, the full ingredient list is on my website, and that's smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Now, for the smoked paprika, smoked has a nice flavor to it. Not only does it give it a little bit of the color, but it's got a nice flavor. So you guys see all of that in there like that? Now I'm getting ready to get in here with this glove. We transfer it all. We didn't put a whole lot of oil on there. So this reason why we doing this is so that this is really like fleshy, shrimp, real fleshy, and it's absorbent. So what we're gonna do is let it marinate a little bit, right? While I cut down this onion, because that'll be the next thing we're gonna do. Then we're gonna go to there, a little infused olive oil in a pan, right? And then we're gonna do garlic, get a little infusion going with the garlic, and then we're gonna put some the onions in there, get that ready, and then by then, this right here, look at that. I'll be ready to go in there. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Look at the color. Yes, sir. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cut down my onion. You know what I mean? So look, I'm not finna bore you. I don't cut them down like the best of like everybody else. So you guys do whatever works with you, right? So you see what I'm doing. I just cut them down like this. I come down, cut a bunch like that. Okay, so come on in and take a look. Look, I diced this down. This is about the size that I like. Anything a little bit smaller than this, I mean, you can get it a little smaller, but we don't want to grate it. This right here is good because this is going to give us a nice little flavor. And to be honest with you, I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. This is probably all that I'm going to use, so we'll just separate that. Now, what we want to do is you want to come over here. Let me go ahead and start putting some fire underneath the bottom. I'm going to start with a medium flame. There we go. Let me stand next to it so you guys can see it. That's about it right there. Obviously, I got my, my saucepan, right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of this infused olive oil. If you guys want to know, this is Branch and Vine, infused olive oil. I think this one is garlic, right? So we'll let that heat up. And then we're going to go ahead and just put in our onion and then our garlic. Okay, so you guys can see, I removed the rest of it because it was a little bit too much onion. And I'm an onion lover, folks. So now you just want to go ahead and bring that over. You can see it's nice, hot, everything is ready. Let's get all of this in here. And then I'm getting ready to add my garlic, and then we're finna mix it around. Notice I put my minced garlic on top of my onion before I move it around. And the reason being, I don't want it to burn, right? So we just go ahead and get this and let this all work. Now we started out with like the best of the oil. It was already infused with garlic, but now we just leveling it up and taking it one step, closer to just giving us that flavor. Okay, so everybody knows, like if you have olive oil and then you put a little butter in there, it kind of like protects the butter, right? I did add a tablespoon of butter to this. Look at how it is. Oh, and just what it's kicking back for the aromatics is crazy. Now what I'm gonna do is introduce, my shrimp, right? So we got all of that goodness inside of that. Now let's just talk about some of the things we can do. We could have done to level this up even more. We could have started out with a little bacon fat, if you're looking for that southern, bite to it. Not, but the reason I didn't do it, because everybody doesn't eat pork. I got it, So I'm giving you guys options, right? So you just want to make sure that all your shrimp is really touching the surface, right? And the reason that is so, it'll cook. Now I'm gonna get myself a set of tongs, because then we're gonna have to flip these in just 1 second. You wanna still maintain a medium flame underneath. Let's center everything up, because you can see it wasn't even balanced and everything was over this way. We want it to be able to cook evenly. You don't wanna overcook it, folks. All right, so look, after like about a minute or so, you can see they're starting to tighten up, and that means that they're cooking. This only takes about 4 minutes, maybe max. It depends on how high you have your flame underneath, right? But what I want to do is get them over here, let them absorb some of that infused olive oil, onion, and garlic in the shrimp, along with cooking it. So by the time I get all of these turned over, I'll probably wait another 30 seconds, because again, we don't want to like overcook it, because we got a little bit of another process to go, right? So I'm gonna look at my fire underneath. I'm getting ready to turn everything down, for that last little bit. Okay, so now, as you can see, I opened up my, my fire roasted diced tomatoes, and I got my corn. I drained my corn, so now I'll come over here and look in here. Now we're gonna add a little corn to this, right? You only need so much corn. You know what I mean? It's really up to you. You guys make it and let me know. I'm giving you guys the ballpark, as far as, what you want to put in there. Now, I'm gonna leave it like this. I got my heat on low underneath, right? I'm getting ready to bring it back to a medium flame. There we go. And then what we're gonna do is just move this around like this and let everything just marry together. All right, so now turn my fire off, right? And now I'm getting ready to add, my crab meat to it. So there's enough heat in there already. We just take this, right? Because we did say seafood. Adding crab meat is optional. If you guys can get it, it's truly a level up, So I'm not gonna do nothing but really kind of like just fold this in, let it get some absorption. You can see the steam, it's nice, warm. Shrimp's not overcooked, right? So we do it like that. Just break it up, just so you don't have those, it's not lumped together how it came out of the can, or however you guys get it. You see that? You wanna get crab and shrimp and everything. Oh man, boy, does it smell good. Wait till we make this sauce. Now, once I have it all, I can look at all of the crab meat and look at it and see the color change. That means it's finna absorb any of the liquid that's in here. But that right there is what you wanna have inside of there. You guys can hear my tone. I tell you, it's something about when you're doing something and it's fire, your tone turns to like berry white. All right, so let me set this off to the side and let's go ahead and make that sauce. Okay, so here we go. This is my Monterey Jack. Let's just go ahead and cut this down, right? Now, you know what? I've always been preaching to everybody. What you want to do is you want to shred your own cheese. If you buy pre-shredded cheese, it doesn't work out as good. For one, they put a waxy film on there, right? And with that waxy film, it helps, it just doesn't melt properly. This right here will melt, and this is what you want. Anytime you can, buy block cheese. Obviously, the smaller that you grade, the quicker it melts, right? So I could go that way. That's too small. I mean, that does work, but you see this one right here? I like to do it like that. So just get yourself a plate and just shred. All right, then when you finish shredding, you should have something like this, right? Remember, the medium size on your grater is like a good size, But that right there is enough for that Monterey Jack. All right, so everything that you have left out of your ingredients, we're getting ready to do, right? Now, if you've been following me for a minute, I like this part right here because this involves making the roux, right? So I'm gonna start with getting myself 2 tablespoons of butter, right? And I'm starting with an unsalted butter. Me, just trying to be a little bit on the health conscious, side, right? Conscious side. Now, we'll let that melt. I got a medium flame underneath the bottom of here. Yep. We just let that go ahead and melt. Now, you know, when you're making a roux, we're gonna need that flour. So if we did 2 tablespoons of butter, we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of flour. Okay, so that's melted. Now we're finna come with our flour, right? Just a couple of tablespoons, right? Right, so we get that over there. Get that going, get your spatula. Now we don't wanna have no lumps, folks. So we just wanna move this around like that, let it absorb that butter. Main thing is, well, 2 main things. You wanna absorb the butter, right? And then another part about that is you wanna cook that flour taste out of it, right? So this is it right here. Once we don't have no lumps, we're not making a gumbo, so we don't need it to get dark like that. You know what I mean? But if you look at it, look, no lumps. I'm loving what I see. Oh yeah. Right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our chicken stock. All right, so here we're gonna need about 1.5 cups, right? So I use my measuring cup. I took the time to get you guys the ingredients, right? You know, with the measurements, you know what I mean? So we're just gonna do it right. Uh-oh. Might have just a little bit more, got hung up. All right, so 1.5 cups. All right, so now we go ahead and just start introducing this, you know what I mean? Getting into it. I like to do a little bit at a time because it'll have a tendency to, they form together. As you look at it, look like it'll try to lump back up. But your best friend is gonna be that elbow on your wrist. You know what I mean? And we just gonna keep moving this around. Now, for those of you guys that wanna use a whisk, which I think I'm finna switch to, that'll probably be the best. So now, as you see, I moved over to a whisk. You can see what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? See how I try to do that? But listen, it's still nice and soft. You know what I mean? I just check my fire, like to make sure I stay on medium, right? And now you can see we making the sauce. Not too thick. You know what I mean? Right now, no lumps. We working that out. And it's enough chicken stock in here for it to be, look at that right there. This is when you want to start being proud. When you at this stage right here and it look like this with no lumps or nothing like that, then you know you in the game. All right, so now, listen, you want to lower your heat here. That'll be the best. You lower the heat, right? Now we're gonna go ahead and measure out 1 cup of this heavy whipping cream. So now we go ahead and add this. We get ourselves about 1 cup. Boom, that's him right there, right? So now we're gonna take that, we're gonna come back here, grab this whisk, right? And now we're gonna start adding that. Look at this right here. Remember, we making the sauce, folks. Ah, yeah. Now you wanna make sure this is all incorporated, right? Remember, we didn't lower the heat. So to be honest with you folks, especially for my new people, when you cooking, low heat is your best friend. You won't burn anything. It just takes a little longer to achieve what you need to achieve. Like making a roux, making gravy, low heat until you're able to get your, get your timing right and you're not leaving nothing. Leaving your food unattended. All right, so we're gonna put about 1/4 cup of our sour cream in here, right? So I just get it like this, run this across the top. That's good. Now we come over here, use my spatula. Let's make sure we get it all in there, right? So, and then on that low heat, it's still enough heat in this pan. You see that right there? It's just coming around to, be right, right? And then what we do is we just incorporate that into it all. You guys can help it by mashing it down just a little bit, But you can look at the color. When you say seafood, you look at something a little bit on the light side when it comes to like sauce. So now you guys know. You guys might want to take this sauce and put this over, some salmon. Some salmon. I don't know why I keep trying to pronounce that Y. I mean that L. All right, so we just work this and let this melt. I'm gonna do a little cleanup, keep working this down, and then we're gonna start adding our cheese, and then I'm gonna, go ahead and season it. Okay, so look, before I add the cheese, everything is melted just right? Now you wanna preheat your oven. I'm gonna hit bake, 375, and then we'll start it. All right, so now we preheating, right? We don't have no lumps in our sauce, so now it's time to go ahead and introduce our cheese, right? So just a little bit at a time, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to get no lumps. We already reduced the heat, it's nice and low. You know what I mean? As you can see, it just dissipates, you know what I mean? And then you can start looking at the texture of it too. You know what I mean? Before I add some more, I just want you to see it. You can see, like if I bring it across like this, you can see the bottom of the pan, you know? So it's starting to thicken up. Now we only gonna put in about a cup, right? So, like I said, a little bit at a time. Then you wanna reserve some of your cheese, you know what I mean? Because you gotta have like a topping, you know what I mean? Because we're gonna put cheese over the top. So look at that there. Okay, so you see that right there? If you at this stage and you had a low fire, you have a low fire flame underneath, and it look like that, that's what you want. We don't want just to cur it up or nothing like that, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my garlic powder and my onion powder to it. You know what I mean? You don't need a whole lot. Both these is a small, you know, a little bit on the strong side, you know what I mean? But just put some flavor in there for you. You know what I mean? This is what you want, along with that cheese. Now, once you start stirring this, again, just what you smell, it's incredible, folks. You know what I mean? Now, this sauce is good on a lot of different things, you know what I mean? But any fish product that you have that you eating, you can always make this and just add this over there. Now, look at that right there. All right, so here we go. Now, I got some avocado oil spray, right? What you want to do is you want to spray this so nothing sticks, right? This spray is kind of, you know, thick if you ask me. But you can always take yourself, no matter what you're doing, you can use pan, whatever. You know what I mean? I still put this on the side like this. You know what I mean? Or we can do it old school way. We can take that butter, peel it back, and just grease it like we do, you know, in the holidays, right? But that right there is what you want to, you know, end up with. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, open up. Now I got a tablespoon right here. I'm gonna set this to the side because this is gonna help me when it comes to assembly, right? So now let me go ahead and get these out. Our sauce is right. Matter of fact, come on back over here and look at the sauce. Look at this right here. It's just cooling, you know what I mean? So every now and then you want to get over here and hit it with the whisk, right? Look at this right here. You don't want it to be too thick, right? But this is gonna be the base. Now, get this open. All right, we're gonna take a few of these out of here like that. Put that over there. Let me clean that. Now, I'm gonna take this over here, bring this over here. It's nice and pliable, right? You can put these in the microwave for about 5 or 6 seconds, maybe 7 to 8 seconds, which I'm gonna do. Put a little steam on them, they get nice and soft, help with the rolling, and stop it from like cracking. Okay, so you see I done brought our filling, this is our seafood filling, back into play, right? So I can move this around. You can see, listen, as it had cooled, it sort of thickens up, which would be perfect for what we gotta do, right? So now, just bring it, scoot this over, give me enough room to work. Just wanna put a couple of tablespoons in here, you know, and then all we're gonna do is just roll them up. You guys pack them as much as you would like, you know what I mean? That's why the size of your shrimp is crucial, you know what I mean? That's why I put crab in there too, you know, maybe I can get one more, or a smaller one, you know, so. You know what, that'd be my problem, I'm always trying to overdo it. 4 shrimp in here is fine. We get it like that. Now we just take it, bring it, flour tortilla, folks. Nice and pliable. We didn't put it in the microwave already to get it nice and soft. Now that you have it, where the bottom of it is, you just want to take it and push it up to make sure that's on the bottom, right? Don't worry about none of that filling like that. You can take it, put it back in here, but anything that oozes out, that's okay. And that sound you just heard, that lets me know that my oven is up to temp. Okay, so now you just go ahead and do the exact same thing, you know, for the rest of your filling, right? But don't do like me. Don't try to like pack them all big. You're not making burritos. We're making them enchilada style, so you know about the size that you want. I believe that this right here is perfect. We take that, bring it over there. We got 2 done. Now, I'm not gonna bore you. We just repeat the process until everything is done. I'm just stirring this up. I put a little heat under there because as you had it sitting off to the side, it'll thicken up. If it got too thick for you, you know what I mean? Because when you add a little fire to it, what you can do is add just a little bit more stock to it. You know what I mean? That's that. So now, you see it right here? Now I'm getting ready to just pour this on the top, right? So you just want to coat it all. You know what I mean? It's okay. Look at that right there. I know y'all can tell me. Like, I know, AB, you ain't right. But this right here, easy to make. Makes a great first impression. It's okay when the sauce, runs all down the side, that's okay. Because I'm gonna make sure all of these tortillas, these flour tortillas got some sauce on it, right? So I'm coming back with my spatula now. All right, so now I'm just gonna take this around just like you see. Like I said, I wanna see complete coverage, right? Our oven is up to temp. Now it's getting ready to become fly, folks. Because I tell you, just as much as it's good, you want it to present itself, right also. So, you got them like that, right? Next thing we're finna do is we're finna bring our cheese back into the game. Now we get ready to add some of that over the top. I'm just gonna put a light layer. Now, what I didn't say is just something, this is totally optional to you guys. I just put a little bit like this, right? Now, if you had extra, I can take some of my shrimp, right? Just, throw them over the top. Ain't nothing wrong with having a little cheese on it. Also, you can do whatever you would like. And now I'm gonna cover that too with some of this shredded cheese. Again, our oven is up to temp. So what we're gonna do. We're gonna put that in there. We're only gonna put it in there for about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, but we're gonna take a look at it after 15 minutes and just see where we at. And other than that, folks, we're not gonna overdo it with the cheese and none of that, but I do wanna put a little cheese on that. There you go. Now we're getting ready to put it in the oven. Now, notice, it's not covered. That's why, obviously I didn't say it, right? We put it in here, we're at 375. You guys see it go in there just like that. Close it. Set a timer for about 15 to 17 minutes. It usually takes 20 minutes. It depends on your oven, but I'm gonna go 17 minutes and then we'll just keep an eye on it from there. Okay, so look, it's been actually 22 minutes. Let's look at it right now. When I pull this out here, look at that right there. If that's not a masterpiece, I don't know what is. And you see how it's running like that? Ooh-wee. Now I'm gonna set this right here on my cutting board. Now, I'm going to, look at that right there. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the cheese I left, left it being, like some reserved cheese. I'm sorry, folks. It's like, man, just looking at this right now, I'm just like, ooh, I can't wait, to dig in. You know what I mean? Just remember, the heat that you got right now, you can see, you might be able to hear it. It's still sizzling. You know what I mean? But this right here is enough. Now what I'm gonna do is I cut up some cilantro. I like cilantro. You guys can put parsley, whatever. Cilantro really for the flavor, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that on here. Just give this a little bit, then I'm gonna turn it into a star, folks. Look at that right there. Okay, so listen, I done took pictures of this, sprinkled green all over it and all of that, did the best I could. That's why you guys are here today. This right here is fire. Like I said, okay, so what I should have said in the beginning was when we was doing the, when we was making the sauce, that's when you should taste it and find out, do you need any more onion powder, garlic powder, or anything you want to add, like salt. I taste in stages. I apologize, you guys, for not saying that as I was going, but this is how I know that when I get to this point right here, it's already fire. So without me over talking anymore, let's just come on in here and take a look at this. Y'all come on in here and look. So now I'll just go ahead and just, it's already, you see how soft it is. You know what I mean? But we did use a flour tortilla. You see that right there? Let me get underneath it. You know what I mean? I'll turn this around this way because I see that it's got a shrimp in there. We know it's full of crab. So let me back up. Man, my mouth is watering. I'm gonna go ahead and say cheers and let's taste it. So let me just say it like this, folks. Way over the top. You know what I mean? Even when you taste the, the sauce that we put in here, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's the combination of it all. Once you hit it, you got that shrimp, you got the crab meat, you can put whatever you want to. Any other, you can put scallops in there. That makes it, start making it get expensive, you know what I mean? Just make it this way. I make it a lot of times just with the shrimp only. Crab just pushed us all over the edge. So listen, when we put it all together like that and eat it, that combination, fire. Let me know down in the comment section below, what would you add to this to make it your own and to even take us, push the whole company over the edge, right? I'm gonna give you one right now because I know you guys have been following me for a minute. If you knew, you didn't know this, but listen, that chicken andouille, that would have done it, folks, just to have that meat texture inside of there too. Hey, listen, I'm not finna over talk it. I'm gonna let you guys hit my website. Don't forget, smokingandgrillingwithab.com. That's WITAB.com. And guess what, folks? I'm out. Peace.